Let me read you two quick verses, Muslims. Surah 3, verse 55 of the Quran. Behold, Allah said, so this is Allah talking to Jesus when Jesus is about to be taken away. Behold, Allah said, O Jesus, I will take thee and raise thee to myself and clear thee of the falsehoods of those who blaspheme. I will make those who follow you superior to those who reject faith to the day of resurrection. So wait a minute. Notice what he's doing here. Allah says, Jesus, the people who, you got two people. You got the people who believe in you and the people who don't believe in you. The people who believe in you, your disciples. So Jesus is worried about his disciples. He's about to be taken away. Allah says, Jesus, I'm taking you away, but those who followed you, I'm going to make them victorious until the day of resurrection. That makes no sense if they start worshiping him because of Allah, because Allah screwed up and made them think that he rose from the dead, right? So if Allah told Jesus, hey, I'm going to protect you, you want to read it here? So you have Sahih International. When Allah said, oh, Jesus, indeed, I will take you and raise you to myself and purify you from those who disbelieve and make those who follow you. And then they add in submission to Allah alone. But keep in mind, according to Muslims and their interpretation of Ermin, his first disciples were Muslims, superior to those who disbelieve. How long? For another 2 months? For another 2 months until they start worshiping him? Until the day of resurrection. That's a long time. We're not even to the day of resurrection yet. So Jesus' followers are supposedly still protected from being led astray. Allah is protecting them, right? One more, 61:14. I'll go ahead. I'll pull it up, but you can pull it up too. 61:14. Surah 61, verse 14, ladies and gentlemen. Got the Sahih International there. O you who have believed, be supporters of Allah, as when Jesus, the son of Mary, said to the disciples, who are my supporters for Allah? The disciples said, we are supporters of Allah. So this is Jesus' disciples admitting that they're Muslims. And a faction of the children of Israel believed, and a faction disbelieved. So we supported those who believed against their enemy, and they became dominant. So now here's a question, Muslims. Which Christians, which followers of Jesus became dominant in Christianity? If you want to say there were Muslim followers of Jesus, they didn't become dominant, did they? We have no record of their even existing, right? Except if you wanted to say theoretically. But notice, even theoretically, if you wanted to say the original followers of Jesus who were Muslims and didn't believe that he died on the cross and rose from the dead and that he's Lord, they didn't believe that. Well, okay, if you want to believe them hypothetically, did they become dominant? Allah says he helped them, he aided them against their enemy, those who rejected Jesus, until they became dominant. Until they became, you have Pickthall right there, until they became uppermost. When did these original Muslim followers become uppermost over their enemies? You know, it's amazing. You can go to the Yusuf Ali edition of the Quran, the one that has commentary. Yusuf Ali says that this verse refers to Christians taking over the Roman Empire. Guess what? We know what the Christians who took over the Roman Empire believe. They believed in Jesus' death, resurrection, and deity. Those are the ones who became dominant. Those are the ones who became uppermost. So how, in the name of common sense, is Allah saying here that he's helping the true followers of Jesus? We know which followers of Jesus became uppermost. Allah says those are the followers of Jesus that he helped. Well, if there were any Muslim followers of Jesus, they definitely didn't become uppermost in any sense. They were crushed immediately, and then they ended up started worshiping Jesus because Allah deceived them. What's very funny? Amazing stuff, man. Just keep in mind what we talked about earlier for anyone who's tuning in late. What Irma just talked about there was the Christianity that won, saying that they have some minor disagreements, but they all believe that Jesus is Lord, that Jesus died on the cross, that Jesus rose from the dead. Keep in mind, Allah said that he was going to help the true followers of Jesus until they became uppermost. Which followers of Jesus became uppermost? The ones who preached his death, resurrection, and deity. You can, again, everyone, go to the commentary of Yusuf Ali on Surah 61, verse 14 of the Quran. It's the Quran that most Muslim organizations would hand you if you asked for a copy of the Quran. Yusuf Ali basically says the only way that makes sense of this is referring to Christians taking over the Roman Empire. So similar to what Ermin is saying, this is when you've got Christianity widespread. They're in widespread agreement and so on. Guess what? They preach Jesus' death, resurrection, and deity. So you got two possibilities. Either Allah helped the right ones, in which case Islam is false because Allah helped people who believed in Jesus' death, resurrection, and deity, and they were right, or he helped the wrong ones, in which case it was wrong. He was wrong when he talked to Jesus. And so if he was wrong, saying he was going to help the true followers of Jesus, did he know he was wrong? In which case he's a liar and he's evil, or was he just ignorant? He tried, oops, I helped the wrong people. Which one is the point is, Muslims, there's no way to make sense of this from an Islamic perspective. That would be the takeaway, right? There's no way to make sense of the history of Christianity, of the New Testament, of the Old Testament, of the claims of Bart Ehrman. You can't make sense of any of that. Take any position you want. Take any position you want. Theological, I mean, theist,
I think you're just being
whatever,
too judgmental.
it just doesn't make sense.
You're just being too judgmental. You're being too harsh on Allah. Allah tried. He tried his best. He said he would protect those.
He tried.
He would protect those. He would make those superior who are the true believers over those who are the disbelievers. He tried. He wanted to do it. It didn't work, but he tried,
hey,
David.
We should get together and make some skits, maybe some claymation or something like that, where Allah is sitting there. I've got my plan. I've got my plan. I'm going to go help the true followers. First, I'm going to trick people into believing that Jesus died. I've got some reason for that. Doesn't make any sense, but I'm going to do that. Uh-oh, now they all think that Jesus died. I guess I should let Jesus appear to them so that they know he's not really dead. And then they'll all continue believing in the teachings of Jesus. Oops, they believe he rose from the dead. Darn it, now what am I going to do? Oh, no. Now they're concluding, based on these Old Testament passages, that Jesus is Lord. What am I going to do here, right? I mean, you could just... let me help them anyway. Let me help them take over the Roman Empire. Right? I mean, it's like one. You have to believe that Allah. I mean, if you're a Muslim and you take this seriously and you're trying to get to the evidence we actually have, given the claims that Allah makes, you have to believe that he is the Inspector Clouseau of the universe. I mean, it's just wow.
Absolutely. I agree.